En paso 1, gramática B, tenemos los verbos como gustar. Y en esta lección vamos a repasar cómo funciona gustar cuando hablamos de la gramática y vamos a tener más verbos que funcionan de la misma manera de gustar. Okay? So empezamos con la primera parte. Escuchamos esta conversación.
¿Te gusta el traje, amor? ¿Vas a comprarlo?
Definitivamente no. Los pantalones me quedan flojos y la corbata me queda pequeña.
¿Ah, sí? Pues a mí me encanta el traje.
Okay? En esta conversación tenemos unas preguntas ahora. How does the suit fit Mateo? How does it fit the mannequin? So de la foto podemos contestar estas preguntas. How does it fit him? Very big, right? But the tie is very small. How does it fit the mannequin? Of course, it looks perfect on the mannequin. So what word does Mateo use to describe the pants? Do you see that? Mateo dice todo esto, dice los pantalones me quedan flojos. So he uses flojos. Okay, remember what that means? Very loose, right? And then what's the subject of me quedan? So in this case, we're using quedan, la forma plural. Los pantalones is controlling that. He's saying the pants fit. So notice how pants is your subject. Fit is controlling fit. They fit what? They fit me. So this verb is using an indirect object pronoun here. La corbata me queda pequeña. So we see the tie fits, singular, fits who? Me. And then the tie fits me small. All right. Okay. Who loves the suit? Alexa dice así, pues a mí me encanta el traje. Remember that you can't say yo me gusta, we say a mí me gusta. ¿Y a ti? ¿Te gusta? So let's review all these rules of gustar and make sure we remember how this verb works. Okay, dice, as you learned in chapter 3, the verb gustar follows a special sentence pattern. Just two verb forms are commonly used, gusta and gustan, and an indirect object pronoun is going to indicate who likes the thing or activity. Okay, so if you'll remember the indirect object pronouns, the first one we have here is me gusta el traje. But those indirect object pronouns, repaso, tenemos me, te, le, nos, os, y les. And you are going to use one of these guys before we use gusta or gustan. Okay, or one of these new verbs, which would be encanta or encantan, falta or faltan, importa, importan. But for now, we're only going to use these in the third person singular, third person plural. Okay, so these are your major rules with gustar. Number 1, we're going to use an indirect object pronoun before the verb. Number 2, we typically use them in the singular, third person plural. Okay, and the way this works is what we like is controlling whether like is singular or plural. So if you say, I like the pants, we would have me gustan los pantalones. If we have you like the tie, te gusta la corbata. So corbata is one thing, singular, makes gustar singular. Los pantalones plural, we have gustan. Okay, if we want to say we like to travel, it would be nos gusta viajar. So before an infinitive, a verb, we just use the singular form of gustar. Okay, so these are two major rules of gustar. Number one, we need an indirect object pronoun. Number two, we only use gusta or gustan. Okay, and then number three with gustar, and we'll practice with the rest of these verbs, to specify a person with a noun, use a before the noun, le gusta. A Linda le gusta. A nosotros nos gusta. A mí me gusta. Okay, so your options are going to be a mí me gusta. A ti te gusta or gustan. Either way. A él, a ellos, a nosotros. But basically, if you have the person stated, you must put a in front. Okay? So those are your three main rules to gustar. Gustar, when you use this verb, it's necessary to have an indirect object pronoun. We use gustar in the singular and plural form, and if we're emphasizing I like, a mí, a ti, if we're clarifying who we're talking about with le or les, you must have a él le gusta, a ellos les gusta. Okay, so back to our new verbs now. We have repitan encantar, faltar, importar, interesar, molestar, parecer, quedar. Okay, so if you wanted to say Emily likes the class, you would say perdón. Okay, if you had le gusta la clase, does that say Emily likes the class? Okay, close. We do have classes singular, making us use gusta in the singular form. We have our indirect object pronoun, but to get Emily likes the class, can we just say Emily le gusta la clase? We're lacking one thing. You would have to have a Emily le gusta la clase. Okay, now we could insert interesa would work there as well, the class interest Emily. So you could say a Emily le interesa la clase. If we wanted to say las novelas, históricas, and we wanted to say I love them, right? You could say me encantan. Me encantan las novelas, so plural, these. Okay, so I love these. You would have a mí me encantan, or just me encantan las novelas. Okay, so number two, just emphasizing that we use singular and plural forms. Use encanta, importa, interesa before a singular noun or an infinitive. Me encanta ir de compras. Me encantan esos zapatos. Their example to show if we say Luis is interested in designing, you must have a Luis le interesa diseñar ropa. Okay, let's look at their last rules. They're going to give a little more information on quedar and parecer. Okay, número 4 dice the verb quedar can mean to have left or to fit. When used to express to fit, another word must be added to specify how a garment or shoe fits the person. Okay, the adverbs bien and mal do not change forms. So for example, we could say las botas te quedan bien. So we see the boots are making this plural, so the boots fit you well. Descriptive adjectives, however, must match in gender and number. So we don't change bien and mal. All we need is las botas te quedan bien. If I were to ask you, ¿te queda bien la camiseta or te queda mal? So bien, mal, we don't change those. But if we have another adjective that ends in O, descriptive adjectives, you will need to match it. So la falda le queda floja. La falda le queda floja. Okay, so falda is making this singular. The skirt fits her. Okay, so the le for her. But what is loose? Floja has to match falda. So la falda le queda floja. Más adjetivos que se usan con quedar. So more adjectives that we can use for how things fit. We have apretado, flojo, grande, pequeño. Okay, so if we were to say the pants are tight on me, you would say you would say los pantalones, the pants fit me. Okay, or you're saying the pants are too small for me, basically. Do you know how to say that? Los pantalones. Okay, so they're plural. We're going to use quedan. The pants fit me. And then too small would be los pantalones me quedan pequeños. Los pantalones me quedan pequeños. Now, número 5, last one, the verb parecer, to seem, to appear, follows a pattern similar to quedar. An adjective is added to express the opinion one has of the subject. Okay, so it seems to me, or it seems to him, seems to her, and then we need to describe how it seems to them. So we have in este ejemplo, los zapatos le parecen muy caros. So the shoes seem, these two are matching, expensive, so all this has to match. The shoes seem expensive to him or her. Okay. So, otro ejemplo, you would have el traje. How would you say the suit seems out of style to you? The suit seems out of style to you. So, el traje ¿te parece pasado de moda? Es una pregunta. So notice we have traje, parece, so masculine, this one thing singular, it's also masculine singular, so we're going to use pasado de moda. But if we were to use la corbata here, we would have la corbata te parece. Okay, one thing singular, but now we're feminine, so te parece pasada de moda. La corbata te parece pasada de moda. Okay, so make sure with gustar, you know the 3 rules. We use an indirect object pronoun with it. So I'm stuck over here, but me, te, le, nos, os, and les. We only use gusta, gustan, so all these in the singular plural, encanta, encantan, falta, faltan. So if you want to say we have 10 minutes left of class, nos faltan 10 minutos. I'll write that for you. Nos faltan faltan 10 minutos. So this is plural, so we're going to use faltan. 10 minutes are lacking to us. If you want to emphasize, we only have a nosotros. Nos faltan. And then the last part is if you have to say Emily likes, a Emily le gusta. Okay? And then, so the next thing, know what these verbs mean, learn them as vocab, and then apply the same form as Gustar uses. And then lastly, make sure with quedar, parecer, sometimes you need to add an adjective. Make sure you can work those. So hopefully you can get this now. I'll give you a little practice at the bottom and another place to go for extra practice. Buena suerte. Don't forget to do